Welcome back. The country is experiencing its third heat wave of the year as Brits brace for scorching temperatures.
We've already seen wildfires destroy grasslands in East London as Raynham lost hectares of shrubland.
And experts warn that soaring temperatures could kill up to 34,000 people by the year 2070. I hate all these scary figures. I'm sorry, I do. So what on earth is going on? To tell us more, we're joined in the studio by meteorologist Nathan Rao.
Good morning.
Nathan, good morning. Thank you so much for coming in to see us. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Phew, what a scorcher, Nathan.
It is.
As tabloids would say.
As we would say in the tabloids, yes, another week, another heat wave. This, as you said, is the third heat wave of summer. Today it's going to be quite warm, 32 degrees. The Met Office is saying, but it's actually tomorrow we're expecting the peak of 34 degrees. And that is going to be mainly in the south and the west of the country. Usually it's the southeast of the country that sees the hotter temperatures. They're actually looking at the west of the country. And then through the weekend, even though it's going to be slightly cooler on Sunday, still a very, very hot weekend ahead. Must mention that the very east coast of the UK might be a bit cooler because they're going to get an easterly. But for the rest of the country, a few days again of very, very warm weather coming up. And we are in heatwave territory, which is 3 or more days of temperatures breaching the threshold, which is 28 degrees in the south of the country. And it varies around the country about what their averages are. And there is a UK Health Security Agency heatwave health alert in force until Tuesday, which, as you always talk about when we get these hot weathers, is really in place for the elderly and the vulnerable to take extra care.
OK, the elderly and the vulnerable means anyone over 65, so that, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you...
Rules you out, rules us all out.
It's lots of people I know, by the way. But, I mean, it doesn't sound that old, and most of the people I know that are in that age group are going... I don't need this advice. I survived. Da-da-da. Drum roll, please. 1976.
Yeah, and we always talk. I always get a lot of mentions about 1976 when we talk about the hot weather and how people, we've survived it before. The UK Health Security Agency puts these warnings out not as something to terrify us all to stay in the houses, but really as a warning that the excess deaths during hot summer weather do tend to increase. These are the excess deaths that are recorded by the Office for National Statistics. Every year there's a baseline level. And during periods of very, very hot weather or very cold weather, the excess deaths do increase. So it is only prudent to warn that people who have got pre-existing health conditions like heart conditions, lung conditions, the elderly, the very, very young, just to take extra precautions if we get sustained temperatures above a level at which their health may be at risk. And that is just to take precautions like stay out of the sun during the very hottest time of the day, between 11 and 3, pull the curtains during the day. I know that sounds really boring, but if the sun is beating into the house, it can get very, very warm.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C-18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
And if the temperatures don't come down overnight, they're called tropical nights, that is also when it can become very stressful for the body if you're in that category for health conditions. So it's just about taking precautions. and being careful.
And we're seeing wildfires already breaking out overnight in East London.
In Rainham, yes, that's right. Now, this is the second in a week, actually, in Rainham. And we've also had wildfires this summer and spring in Wales. So wildfires are actually a problem in the UK, particularly when we have got the very warm weather that we've got, but also the very dry weather. It has been the driest spring on record in parts of the country. So the ground is very dry, the grassland is dried out. It's very important to point out that it's very unlikely that the weather causes fires. Fires are usually caused by cigarette ends, barbecues.
They're caused by people.
They're caused by people.
Yes.
But this very, very dry weather and very, very hot weather and the warm breeze can push those fires along, as we've seen in Rainham. I think it was 10 hectares in Rainham. Thankfully, no injuries. It was put out by around 6 p.m. last night. But with this hot weather and dry weather likely to continue through the coming days and possibly weeks, this may become more of an issue.
So what is this weather caused by? I mean, it's normally a heat plume or a heat dome.
A heat dome or a heat bomb or a heat explosion.
Yes.
Or with our lovely tabloid newspapers, of which I have been a member of, think up these lovely, glorious names. What we've got at the moment is a combination of high pressure, which we love in the summer. Now, I always say that we spend around 8 months of the year, us Brits in the UK, moaning and groaning about the cold weather. And I know this particularly, Dom, because I'm usually sat with you talking about it in the autumn.
I
When's the hot weather?
About the cold weather a bit.
Yeah, she does. She does a little bit. So when it comes, this is our summer. What we've got at the moment is high pressure over the UK. What caused the last heat wave, which we were talking about, heat domes, was boosted by a plume of hot air from the continent. We're not actually getting that at the moment. This is what they call homegrown hot air.
Oh, right.
Homegrown hot weather. So it's high pressure over the UK and strong sunshine at this time of year. July and August are the hottest months of the year, it is July after all, so we're going to get that hot weather.
But we used to call summer back in the old days.
Summer.
We always go on about 1976. To me, I was 11 years old. It sums up memories of long, sunny bike rides, just disappearing, gorgeous, endless days, obviously long school holidays. It was beautiful. But it's not the only hot summer we've had. We have had them before.
Yeah, we've had them before, and we've had them subsequently. We've had 35 degrees, which is what we're looking at this week, 34 degrees. And people always mention the 35 we had in 1976. But we had it, I think, in 1925. We've had it in 1940-something, I think. My memory
41,
is
I think
41,
it was.
I think it was. And we will all remember 2022, when we had 40.3, which was the hottest temperature ever recorded in Coningsbury, Lincolnshire. What the issue is, we're seeing them more frequently. So it's not that we have never seen temperatures in the 30s before. We're tending to see them more frequently year on year. So, and it's very interesting to point out that I was looking at the weather progs, they call them, which is the diagnostics, the prediction models, a couple of weeks ago, and it was pointing out 40 degrees again. Now, we saw this in 2022, and at the time, the meteorologists were saying, we'll never see it, it's an outlier, something called an outlier, it's the model making a mistake. And then we got it, we got 40.3. So when I saw this 10 days ago, I thought, now that it's happened once, it's not out of the question it can happen again. So the moral of the story is we're seeing a greater frequency of hotter than average temperatures, and we've already had 40.3, so it could happen again.
And we're looking on screen now how brown the countryside is. When I get my trains to and fro from London and back, it is very brown, the fields.
And we already have our first hosepipe ban in Yorkshire.
Yes, 5 million people in Yorkshire today. If you wash your cars with a hosepipe or water your gardens.
Just finally, this weekend is hotter than where in the world? We normally say it's hotter than Barbados or hotter than somewhere else.
Oh, that's a very good question. I'm usually good at answering this. So we pick Ibiza, that's usually a good tableau. Barbados or Hawaii are very popular ones. Or if in doubt, pick somewhere in Australia where it's winter.